I'm going to try and do this in reverse order, missing out, of course, my postcode, my email, my name will be known anyway, and my first name will be known as well. So we get to number 5, because we're going in reverse order. Putting aside party politics, which of the main leaders would you prefer as Prime Minister? Ed Miliband, David Cameron, unsure, no opinion. Well, David, the thing is here, there is another option, which you, as a PR man, conveniently fail to give the public, and that is the opposite of no opinion, and the opposite of unsure. Well, for a fact, Ed Miliband and David Cameron are followers of the New World Order, which is Zionism, really, in a nutshell. I mean, Zionism isn't Jewish at all. Well, there are Jews in it, but there are also people like David Cameron and Ed Miliband who are blatantly Zionists and, condone the horrors of Palestine at the moment. So, I'm certainly not going to think that they're going to be the best prime ministers for the nation, or the best people to run the nation. Let's go on to number 4. Oh yes, this is who are we going to vote for? Thinking ahead to the next general election, what are the chances of you voting for each of the following parties? 0, no chance. 10, absolutely certain to vote for that party. Labour, 0. Liberal Democrat, 0. Conservative, 0. UKIP, 0. Other, please state. 0. Because all of them are Zionist in background and in they're Zionist because they follow the monetary economic system, which is fraudulent. Right, number 3. Dealing with Britain's deficit and debt is the only way to get back to a strong economy. How strongly do you agree with this statement? 0, disagree strongly. 10, agree strongly. 0, obviously, because the economy is a fiction created by bankers and politicians. We don't need this monetary economy. We need a natural law, resource-based economy. End of story. And we don't need politicians and bankers. Number 2, which of the following issues are most important for the country as a whole? Well, go into childcare, schools, opportunities for the next generation, the environment and climate change, crime and antisocial behaviour, the cost of living, Britain's deficit and debt, affordable housing, welfare, making work pay, immigration, the level of taxes and the National Health Service, the EU, tax credits and benefits to support working families, care and support for the elderly, unemployment university and tuition fees. In a natural law resource-based economy, all of these things which you probably call problems or issues that need to be sorted out would be automatically sorted out. And because there is no money, there would be no cost of living. Britain's deficit and debt would not exist because there is no money. Tax credits would be, benefits would not be necessary at all. Care and support for the elderly would be automatic. Unemployment. Now, the thing with unemployment is that you can't nowadays just say that it's unemployment because it's technological unemployment. And technology, well, you know what I mean. Technological unemployment is a problem that actually limits or minimises the workforce. Now, if technology was allowed to run its course, then in a natural law resource-based economy, eventually the workforce that's actually producing things for the community or nation or whatever you want to call it would be about 3 to 5% of the population. So that leaves the rest of the workforce able to learn more about science and technology and any other thing that takes their fancy to learn, instead of being employed. But remembering that technology and the 3 to 5% of the population would be involved in creating food and clothing, and perhaps be involved in building new cities. That would be it, wouldn't it? 3 to 5% of the population would be quite happy doing those sort of less menial tasks, because technology has taken the stress out of employment anyway. We're living still, Mr. Cameron, in the 20th century and not the 21st. Your thoughts are in the 20th century and not the 21st. Right, where else? Level of taxes. There wouldn't be any taxes because there isn't any money, is there? In a natural law, resource-based economy, you don't need money because the technology is that advanced that 95% of the population doesn't actually have to provide the food and clothing that's necessary for the rest of the population, because technology does it for them. Hey, opportunities for the next generation. Well, there are sort of 95% of the population, that's the next generation, that are able to go into the sciences and whatever learning that they want to go in to better humanity for the next generation, so that we become a learning civilization instead of a stagnant civilization. Schools would be far better because there would be more people teaching than there are at the moment. Still getting the necessities of life and a higher lifestyle probably than they're getting at the moment. The same with childcare. There would be no cost to schools and childcare because we're living in a natural law resource-based economy. And The crime and antisocial behaviour, well, because there's no money to steal and no fraud to take part in, and if you're being antisocial, well, what's the point of being antisocial when you're sharing everything anyway? So the chances are that antisocial behaviour will be virtually annihilated, if not completely annihilated. And crime, there wouldn't be much crime because there's nothing to steal. Everybody gets an equal share of everything, really, in a natural or resource-based economy. And of course, the cost of living, there is no cost of living, is there? There is no cost to living. The birds don't have a cost of living, do they? And the animals don't have a cost of living. So why should we, as human beings, have a cost of living? I can't remember whether I mentioned anything about the deficit and the debt, but the deficit and the debt is just a contract anyway to keep us all in wage slavery. Affording a house, well, you know, in a natural or resource-based economy, new cities will be created, and 21st century cities, and those cities will be self-sustaining rather than the present sort of cities that are designed to be unsustainable and have the need to always import all of the things that the city needs. But why not create self-sustaining cities where the food is grown in multi-storey hydroponics farms that are 40 or 50 stories high, each occupying a hectare of land. If it's 50 stories high, you have literally 50 hectares of land to grow food on instead of one. But no, you can't think about things like that, can you, David Cameron? Affordable housing indeed. Just create sustainable cities. You moron, stupid man. Where are we? Oh, the first question was, well, what's the most important thing to my family, you know? And, I didn't mention immigration in the last one. And of course, in a natural or resource-based global economy, then people in England might well choose to move to the Sahara Desert in a brand new city that's self-sustainable with its own water supply from the what is it? I can't remember what they're called now, but the water that's underground that was blown up, the pipe was blown up by NATO forces when they destroyed Gaddafi, and some say that he was buggered with a blade, and that's wonderful, isn't it, to say the least? Very sadistic and not very nice at all. So, the most important thing to me as a family, for my family and for the country, is a natural resource-based economy, and you are just a Zionist who wants to control everybody. End of story. So there.